border and the blue economy as a whole. My name is Prince Chilaka, and with me is
Daily Utomi. Today's show is loaded with a whole lot of items that we are bringing to you. Of course, we will start with the events that made the news in the course of the week. Of course, like Francis said, our guest today, a young man with a whole lot of experience within the maritime sector, is coming in. He's close to this place. Within a short period of time, he will be here, and he will do justice to analyzing the events that have occurred over the past 1 week. And it's going to be a swell time with the guests for us today, as presenters and as listeners. Let's just sit back and have a nice time on the Maritime and Border Show with Dilio Tommy and
Mr. Chilaka. This is VOP 90.3, the station where you cannot run away, the dial you cannot afford to change. I'm telling you, this is one show that brings everything about the maritime industry to your doorsteps. So we're going to start off with our usual news item, the things that happened throughout last week, the things that tried to shape the industry last week. NAGAF president calls for unity and compliance in 2026. In 2026, he says, together we can achieve more. In his New Year message, High Chief Tochukwu Ezesi, the national president of the National Association of Government-Approved Freight Forwarders, NAGAF, urged members to uphold professionalism and comply with regulations to boost revenue growth and industry standards. He emphasized that professionalism is the foundation for trust, reputation, and long-term success, and compliance is a shared duty ensuring honest and transparent operations. SSC highlighted the association's resilience and dedication to NAGAF's principles despite past challenges. He expressed optimism that 2026 would bring greater opportunities, divine favor, and blessings, and wished members a prosperous, peaceful, and rewarding new year. The NAGAF president message aligns with his earlier promise to introduce a comprehensive health insurance scheme and medical health fund for members, as well as establish working relationships with hospitals to offer discounts. I mean, NAGAF is, this is the beginning of the year, and NAGAF is setting the tone for how it wants to run its affairs in 2026. We hope that at the end of the day, NAGAF, not only talking about its members, but also be able to, build a strong synergy between her members and the Nigerian Customs and other agencies as well.
yeah. I know Chief Tochukwu Ezisi personally. I know his pedigree in terms of philanthropy and in terms of leadership. I've worked with him on several occasions before. I know he has a whole lot of potentials, and he has a whole lot of things that he's done for members of his association, that's the National Association of Government-Approved Freight Forwarders, NAGAF, and of course, things that also benefited other freight forwarders and licensed customs agents. He talked about the health insurance policy that he's been preaching about, going into, and says that 2026 is going to be a year that it happens, and a whole lot of other goodies that it has for members. It's a good one. It's a good one. Moving further, Nigerian Customs Service begins safe passage scheme for personal vehicles. The Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) has announced the commencement of procedures for granting safe passage to personal vehicles temporarily imported or transiting through Nigeria by international travelers. The initiative is anchored on the Nigerian Customs Service Act 2023 and relevant international conventions on temporary admission and transit of vehicles. The Deputy Controller of Customs, National Public Relations Officer Abdullahi Maiwada, PhD, highlighted in a press release that the new framework covers all personal non-commercial vehicles belonging to international travelers visiting Nigeria for tourism, diplomatic businesses, or personal purposes. It seeks to ease cross-border movement, strengthen Nigeria's compliance with international obligations, and reinforce the nation's commitment to trade facilitation and regional integration. It is pertinent to know that this implementation draws legal backing from sections 142, 143, 144, and 245 of the NCS Act 2023, as well as the revised Kyoto Convention (RKC), UNTIR Convention 1975, Istanbul Convention 1990, and the ECOWAS Protocol on Free Movement of Persons, Residents, and Establishment. It also aligns with WCO guidelines on temporary admission and the Carnet de Passagers en Douane, CPD regulations. That's French. International travelers are required to present valid documents such as international passport, international driver's license, vehicle registration, insurance, and CPD at the point of entry. Upon satisfactory inspection and verification, a temporary vehicle admission permit valid for up to 90 days will be issued and electronically recorded. Travelers may apply for an extension of up to 30 days, subject to approval by the relevant customs area controller. This is a nice one. The Nigerian Customs Service here again taking the bull by the horn in the area of innovation and the ease of doing business or movements of persons within and through Nigeria. This is for those who are moving vehicles, or maybe you're moving vehicles from across border to another country, from one country to into the country and then to another country, making it easier for people to have free access through the roads.
Yeah, it's a good innovative, but I hope it will not be subjected to abuse, and I also hope that those who are going to be utilizing this service will also realize that as they're going back, the vehicle goes back with them.
Exactly.
So they shouldn't forget
just on
that.
transit.
Yes, and and they also know that if the vehicle is stolen, appropriate reports at not only the police station but the nearest command of the Nigerian Customs should also be, carried along. Yes, but it's a good one. I just hope that it is not subject to abuse. The NIMASA launches Operation Zero Tolerance to crack down on maritime non-compliance. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, has launched a comprehensive enforcement operation to stamp out non-compliance with maritime laws in Nigeria's territorial waters and offshore domain. The operation, codenamed Operation Zero Tolerance for Non-Compliance, aims to strengthen regulatory oversight and entrench discipline within the maritime sector. Compliance requirements: proper vessel registration, ensure vessels are registered and possess valid statutory certificates, updated ownership documentation, maintain accurate and up-to-date ownership records, cabotage provisions, adhere to vessel ownership, registration, manning and construction regulations, timely payment of levies, pay statutory levies, fees and charges on time. The NIMASA has granted a 30-day grace period effective from January 5th, 2026 for stakeholders to conduct self-audits and address outstanding regulatory gaps. Failure to comply will attract sanctions, including vessel detention, monetary penalties, and denial of port clearance. Well, it's good. Let us sanitize our waterways. It's very, very important that that is done. I want to say that, yes, NIMASA is waking up from her sleep, from her slumber, and taking her role within the maritime sector very, very seriously. So it's a welcome development.
Yes. NIMAS will be commended in certain areas. Who are thinking of circumventing the rules. We have a tough day with them. I hope this is the light of the day, and that their bites will be as good as their bite. But
as long as they don't behave like the Nigerian Shippers Council. Yes, because we may all say, these are agencies that are meant to promote the workings within the industry. But if these agencies are not functioning well, then there's a lot that is going on.
Of course, if the
MASA is doing what they're supposed to do, the Nigerian Ports Authority are doing what they're supposed to do, the Nigerian Shippers Council, we will have a free toll. Nobody will complain.
Better economy, bigger
revenue,
a whole lot of opportunities for Nigeria.
So we're challenging all of them. NPA, I think last week we read about NPA talking about the steps they want to take, in ensuring that other ports are working optimally and all of that.
Yeah. Modernization of other ports.
We're waiting to hear from the Shippers Council and see how they would want to help stakeholders within the industry.
Yeah. Moving further, modern customs runs on intelligence, not guesswork. Adeni that declares. The Controller General of Customs, Adewale Adeni, has declared that intelligence remains the backbone of effective modern-day customs operations, urging officers of the Customs Intelligence Unit (CIU) to place it at the heart of their professional duties. Speaking on Monday, 5th January 2026, at the Nigeria Customs Command Staff College (NCCSC) Gwagwalada during the opening of a specialist training program, the CGC underscored that no contemporary security or revenue operation can thrive without timely, credible, and well-utilized intelligence. Describing the program as the service's first formal engagement of the year, Adeni said the initiative was strategically positioned to shape the professional trajectory of participants. He encouraged the officers to view the new year as an opportunity to contribute meaningfully to the service of the nation. Reflecting on the global and local security situations, the CGC cited recent military and security operations, including domestic interceptions of arms and ammunition, as evidence that intelligence is the decisive factor behind successful enforcement outcomes. He urged participants to revisit earlier presentations delivered in the program, noting that the materials contained practical guidance essential for real-world operations. Commandant of the SCCSC, Assistant Comptroller General of Customs, Dao Gaura, also emphasized the transformative power of intelligence, describing it as a quiet but decisive force driving institutional efficiency. Yeah, Francis, you've been harping on training, and of course, this is the CGC forward, talking about the role of intelligence at the training college, the Customs Training College in Gwagwalada, Abuja. It's the only way to go. You keep training and retraining officers and people and stakeholders within the maritime sector, so that of course what we preach about, the ease of doing business and growing the economy and creating more job opportunities for Nigerians will be realized.
Yeah, as you know, I've always advocated for training, retraining, and retraining. But I'll also say this to the CG. Gathering everybody in Gwagwalada is not the solution, it's not the way forward. After that, every other command should be able to train, bring it home, back home. That's why it has a lot of impact. When you allow the training to be done back home, you move everybody to Abuja, you train them,
decentralize it.
You just bring them back. If you're in Lagos, let there be a training in Lagos. If you're in Ibadan, wherever the other commands, let it train. You see, CIU is one department I've dealt with, and I've met quite a number of very, very talented
and intelligent officers.
Yes, somebody like Yinka Suleiman. He used to be in KLT. You meet him, you'll see a different.
You like to do the job.
You like to do the job. And for me, it's people like that I encourage stakeholders to really, really want to embrace the Nigerian custom. If you look at someone like Joy Edodok. You know, you want yourself.
Former CAC.
Former CAC who's now an ECG. You know, you look at somebody like
even the national PRO.
Oh, that guy is
he knows his own.
And then you talk of Frank, you know, our friend, you know,
the CGC himself.
No. I try not to mention because
it's a guru.
No, I try not to mention because his innovations are apt. You cannot fault them. You know, you cannot fault them. So, but with this training, as you train the men and officers of the Nigerian Custom, also train the stakeholders. Because the stakeholders need to understand, what do you mean by CIU? What do you mean by FOU? What are their responsibilities? So if you don't carry the stakeholders along and you just train your men, the problems will still be there. All right, so we move on. IMO, International Maritime Organization, picks from policy to practice, powering maritime excellence as World Maritime Day theme for 2026-2027. From policy to practice, powering maritime excellence has been selected as the International Maritime Organization's World Maritime Day theme for 2026 and 2027, culminating in the annual celebration on the final Thursday of September each year. Meeting in London for the 134th session at 7 to 11 July, the IMO Council endorsed a proposal from Secretary General Arsenio Dominguez to keep the theme for a 2-year period. This meeting was in 2025. The theme highlights the organization's clear commitment to develop member states' capacity to put policies into practice by providing technical assistance, training, and other essential services. The Secretary General said the theme transmits a clear message of our commitment to ensuring regulations are put into action and providing the necessary technical assistance for implementation by member states. Well, I mean, Nigeria, now that we're a member of IMO,
Category
C, we feel at home. You know, we could just, whatever is there, we just benefit from it. We just, make our own inputs. We're just part of it. Now we know that we're part of it. So whatever it is that take us to the next level, and I'll take the organization to the next level, Nigeria would definitely do that.
Of course, we all know the benefits of being a member of the IMO Category C. Somebody said that for you to make a change or make impact, you have to be within the circle. So it's
agreement is agreement.
Yeah,
you have to be in the system.
It cannot be overemphasized. We keep saying congratulations to Nigeria for that achievement, and of course, when here when people do well, we praise them, but when they do not do their job, we also give them this. I think that's an area. I say it again that Timasa did very well last year. In fact, the whole Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. Kudos to everybody that,
especially the minister.
Kudos to everybody that put hands on deck to make sure that we realize the membership of IMO Category C. And moving further, Ningbo Zushan Port tops global cargo handling charts for 17th straight year with a 1.4 billion tons in 2025. That's impressive. This is a Chinese port. Despite a global maritime trade slowdown and fluctuating trade policies, the Ningbo Zushan port in China surged past 1.4 billion tons of cargo throughput in 2025, clinching this title as the world's busiest for the 17th consecutive year. That's impressive. The port also shattered records by exceeding 40 million TEUs, as the 20-foot equivalent units in annual container throughput for the first time, cementing its spot as the globe's third highest container hub. These feats highlight a major upgrade in its overall operations. Key infrastructure showed brightly. The Shoshan and Meishan 10 million TEU terminals hit full capacity, while the unique Shilanghu ore transshipment terminal, the world's only one capable of berthing and unloading 2 400-ton vessel at once, bolstered efficiency. Together, they power the port's massive throughput. By year's end, the port linked 309 container shipping routes to over 700 ports across more than 200 countries and regions. It handled nearly 300 cargo ships daily, earning the second highest global port connectivity index. Overseas expansion fueled further growth with refined logistics networks and warehouses in Germany and Dubai, plus new offices in Singapore and Japan. I mean, my man, there's a standard for us to
No, wait,
meet.
no.
No,
Please,
that's
don't
something.
give me- no.
Okay, let's for
Dilly,
us at least start dreaming.
Dilly, don't go there. I think if you want us to look at them as being a standard for us, we should be talking about opening other seaports in Nigeria.
No, but this one seaport
No.
has achieved this.
If you go to read the history, you understand that when you open other seaports, the challenge becomes valuable.
Okay.
Do you know how many seaports they have in China? Open up seaports, and then you now know whether the competition is real or not. You can't have one seaport and you say it's doing better. No, China has a lot of seaports, but this has beaten all of them.
Yeah.
So yes, we can say kudos to them. So for Nigeria starting the journey, it doesn't just start by having one seaport.
We do not have one seaport. We have 6 seaports. It's just that it's only one that is functional almost near optimally and automated.
So what's the
now, one can be called a modern port. That's the Lekki Deep Sea Port because it's functioning.
Because yes. So what stops us from investing more in Apapa, in Tinkan,
in Warri ports, in Calabar ports, and other places?
What stops us?
Question we've been asking for ages now. I think people do not have the political will to handle certain things. That's just...
But if you don't have a political will to handle certain things, how do you want this country? We are sitting on a lot of gold, and yet we cannot even take a bar from it. Is that not a big problem?
I don't know if the crab mentality analysis is relevant in this case, or maybe I don't know, because we all know what we want, but we seem not to know how to go about getting it, or because we seem not to have the will to go about getting it.
No, I think the problem is not having the will. The problem is, do we really believe in Nigeria? It starts from there. If I ask you on the road or outside Nigeria, I say, where are you from? The first thing you tell me is, I'm from Delta. I'm from Imo. I'm from Anambra. I'm from Kano. I'm from Kaduna.
That's on the Nigerian road, not abroad.
No. The same thing happens abroad. Nigerians hardly say they are from Nigeria. A lot of Nigerians are even ashamed of holding the green passport now. Let us be honest with ourselves. But if we can come back and say, this is Nigeria. In the 70s,
when you used to command a lot of respect.
I mean, you obviously. Then you were proud to say we're the giant of Africa. Today, are we really the giant of Africa? So we need to
That's a straight answer to that question.
We need to come to that point where we say we are unified, and then we say, oh, I'm a Nigerian. I'm a proud Nigerian. It's something our leaders need to really think about. They shouldn't just be thinking about politics. They should think about the unification of this country.
Okay, there are still more news.
Oyetola broke stubborn jinxes constraining Nigeria's maritime growth in 2025, says the spokesman. Nigeria's maritime sector has entered a decisive phase of renewal following a series of far-reaching interventions by the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Dr. Adegboyega Oyetola, CON. According to the minister's special advisor, Dr. Balaji Akinola, the maritime and blue economy sector has been decisively unlocked for genuine growth and development under Oyetola's leadership, with several long-standing jinxes, once thought permanent, successfully broken. Akinola said the minister's actions since assuming office in August 2023, and most notably throughout 2025, have dismantled obstacles that constrained the sector for decades. These reforms, he noted, have restored confidence, improved performance, and repositioned the maritime and blue economy as a critical pillar of Nigeria's economic diversification agenda. Foremost among these achievements, he said, was the resolution of the notorious Apapa gridlock, which for over 20 years paralyzed the Lagos Port corridor and severely disrupted trade. By early 2024, sustained policy coordination, operational discipline, and infrastructure optimization delivered lasting relief to Apapa and its environs. He said the clearing of the gridlock significantly reduced cargo dwell time, lowered logistic costs, enhanced port efficiency, and removed a major distinctive to investment, effectively restoring the Lagos ports as functional gateways for national and regional commerce. Another long-standing setback, according to the special advisor, was Nigeria's prolonged absence from the International Maritime Organization IMO Council. He noted that Nigeria's return to IMO Council in 2025, after 14 years outside the global maritime decision-making body, followed a keenly contested election and marked a major restoration of the nation's international maritime standing. Achieved under Minister Oyetola's focused leadership, the fifth strengthened Nigeria's influence in shaping global maritime regulations, reinforcing its leadership role in Africa, and reaffirming international confidence in the maritime governance. Where do we really start from? Yes, the gridlock was mad. It was crazy. I mean, people. I remember a few years back, I actually slept on the road. It was actually a wrong turn that took me to that. I didn't know where I was trying to get out from First Stack, and I just entered that. And immediately you enter, you just see one truck will come and block you. So we slept there till the next day. And in the night we were worried because of these hoodlums and all of that. I mean, it's a wonderful thing that it's been cleared, but the minister needs to do more because the gridlocks seem to be coming back. Yeah. Oga Minister, Oga SA to Minister, please tell the minister he shouldn't sleep or he shouldn't slumber because the agents of darkness, the jinxes are trying to come back. It's either the Nigeria Ports Authority does not know what she's meant to do, or the truckers are the problem, or those who benefit from those gridlocks, who have lost their source of livelihood, want to bring it back. So, Oga Minister, kudos, you have cleared that, but please watch out. They are plotting to come back. Talking about the IMO, being back in the council, I mean, it's something that every Nigerian should be proud of, and we're proud of the minister. We're proud of all those who work tirelessly to ensure that Nigeria gets back on the international stage.
Now, first and foremost, I want to say this. I want to put something out there. Dr. Akinola, Bolaji Akinola, I've actually tried to see if he can come to this program. He was supposed to be here this weekend, but unfortunately, he's still stuck with his business in Abuja. So one of these days, we'll bring him to the studio so that he can highlight some of the achievements that he's trying to put here forward. And but talking about the Minister for Blue Economy, Marine and Blue Economy, he's done quite well. But I want to say something about the gridlock. You see, it's you just mentioned that the thing is coming back. Let's not try and while praising ourselves and then sleep on the job, because if we become complacent, things get back to the bad way it used to be. And so we should be cautious in the way we handle things and make sure that all those things that created a conducive atmosphere for gridlock to be there and for, those disincentives, like I said, for economic growth do not find their way again to the port corridors. That things the whole place is cleared, and the people can gain easy access to the port and do their business. Of course, for the IMO, we keep saying you cannot overemphasize it. It's a very big one for Nigeria. It's kudos to them for the achievement after 14 years.
No, Dilly, just I think was it the middle of December or so before we went for the Christmas break. We brought I think we brought two different guests, and we talked about this resurfacing gridlock in Apapa. And I remember the blame has always been put on the truck drivers. And I'm lucky we brought somebody who is one of those, the truck drivers, who said
the president of one of the associations.
He said Nigerian Ports Authority is the problem.
Yeah.
You know,
he said so.
Yes. And, you know, we've not seen the Nigerian Ports Authority come out to say no. We want to know, have they renewed the agreement with TTP? We need to know, you know, because if everybody is saying that TTP is the problem, that agreement is faulty, I don't think it's something that they should go back into. Whatever it is that will bring back gridlocks on Apapa, we must come against it.
Yeah, sure. Moving further, Analka raises inflation concerns over proposed shipping line charges. Rising shipping costs at Nigeria seaports could soon translate into higher prices for goods nationwide, as the Association of Nigerian Licensed Customs Agents, Analka, Western Zone, has warned that proposed new charges by shipping companies risk fueling inflation on an already fragile economy. The association said the planned increments, coming barely 3 years after shipping lines raised tariffs by over 400%, are difficult to justify, given the relative stabilization of the key cost drivers, such as foreign exchange rates and diesel prices. According to Analka, the cumulative burden of port-related charges is steadily pushing up the cost of imports, with consequences that will ultimately be borne by consumers. And that's a nice call for the Western Zone of Analka to make there. You can't just arbitrarily increase charges. And, of course, for this to happen, the Nigerian Shippers Council has to be aware.
They've approved it. We talked about it. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago we talked about it, where they said they have approved it. And I asked, you are approving for rates to go up, but you're not taking care of the stakeholders.
All the complaints are not being taken care of.
Out of 46 complaints, they attended to 26. And they said, oh, for a whole year, you attended to 26. For a whole year, all you got was just 46.
And of course, they were praising themselves.
I mean, you know, so Nigerian Shippers Council, we're calling you out. You cannot, in good conscience, allow prices to go up, knowing that Nigerians presently are going through a lot. I believe that your job is to create enabling environment for those who use the ships, for the stakeholders, and for the final consumers.
You know, part of the complaints of stakeholders, especially the local stakeholders, that I don't know whether the NSC in cahoot with the shipping lines are trying to force the local investors out of business so that they be taken, because when you drive up these prices, they are sort of priced out of the market, and then the foreign investors are the ones who have the deep pockets to. Okay,
let me bust your bubble. Do you know that the shipping lines, when they want to sell their old containers, they sell them in naira? When a container is declared missing, they give you a bill in dollars.
Which is ridiculous.
Very, very. And I said, where's the Nigerian Shippers Council? Why are we not protecting our own indigenous businessmen? Why? Semi Area Command rakes in 15.6 billion in 2025 in record performance. The Semi Area Command of the Nigerian Customs Service has recorded an unprecedented revenue performance in 2025, generating a total of 15.6 billion and marking the highest annual collection in the history of the command. This information was contained in the press statement released by the Public Relations Officer of the command, Superintendent of Customs John Tunde Ayegbolo. The statement says that the milestone underscores the impact of trade facilitation reforms, enhanced enforcement, and improved stakeholders' engagement at the nation's key western border. According to the command, the outstanding performance was capped by a historic monthly collection of 3.63 billion in December 2025, the highest ever recorded since the establishment of the Seme Area Command. The revenue surge was largely attributed to the effective implementation of the One-Stop Shop OSS initiative introduced by the Controller General of Customs, which has strengthened coordination among border agencies and improved the ease of doing business for compliant traders. The Customs Area Comptroller Wale Adenuga said the growth reflects the command's focus on trade facilitation, transparency, and strict compliance with customs procedures. Beyond revenue generation, the Seme Area Command sustained robust anti-smuggling operation throughout the year. In December 2025 alone, officers seized 685 parcels of cannabis sativa, marijuana, 495 packs of tramadol, and 2,000 packs of super power sildenafil tablets, and excessively high dosage sexual enhancement drug. The seizures, according to the command, were made possible through intelligence-led operations, enhanced patrols, risk profiling, and close interagency collaborations. Comptroller Adenuga warned that the Seme border is no longer safe for smugglers, stressing that officers of the command remain vigilant and prepared to intercept and prosecute offenders in line with the law. I mean, congratulations to the command, but there's still an issue that the command has not resolved, which you are aware of. The issue between the command and the task force, that their members got arrested and they had to pay a certain amount of money to be able to, free themselves. We haven't heard anything from the command. We believe that this is something they should address. As we say congratulations to the controller, we want him also to look into the issue of what do you call them now, smugglers that is ravaging that end. He has to look into it seriously.
It's a record-breaking performance by the Seme Command under the leadership of Comptroller Wale Adenuga. It's a very nice one. He's been able to plug certain loopholes within that area that caused economic leakages, and it's very impressive in the way he handled a whole lot of things, a whole lot of seizures that have been detailed here. Regarding the I think yes, you talked about one area he has to do something about is like you were saying, is this area of the issue of having multiple checkpoints by certain sister agencies. We know the Seme Area Command has reduced the number of checkpoints they personally have from the numerous ones to 2. But the sister agency, especially the Nigerian Police Force, has stubbornly refused to reduce the number of checkpoints they have. And they are all working, they are sister agencies working for the same government. The things that should become a disincentive for investors or investments within the country should be discouraged. And that is an international corridor, the Lagos-Abuja corridor. If you have so much of checkpoints, police checkpoints, quarantine checkpoints, immigration checkpoints, all the sister agencies having so much checkpoints along that road, it's not good. The optics is not nice. It's not good.
Dilly, what fascinates me about all these checkpoints is that it is the duty of the customs to check for contrabands, smuggling, and all of that. But I don't understand the duty of the Nigerian police.
I told you earlier that I was in one of the programs. I was in one of their press briefings where they asked a direct question to a police officer representing Nigerian police. He said the police has the power to be in anywhere, in how many quantity, how many number of them they at any particular place.
I agree with you. They should go to Sambisa Forest.
That's what they keep telling you. They have the right to be in any place at any given time. I
can see our guest Ken is not. Ken, don't worry, I'm coming to you. They're coming to you. We see that you're ready.
All right. Record tumbles as Apapa Command hits 2.9 trillion naira in 2025. The Apapa Area Command of the Nigerian Customs Service has generated a total revenue of 2 trillion 930 billion 508 million 827,110 naira and 30 kobo only in 2025, recording an impressive increase of 573 billion 295 million 266,571 naira 10 kobo over the 2 trillion 357 billion 213 million 560,539 naira 22 kobo collected in 2024, representing a 24.32% growth rate. The performance reinforces Apapa Command's position as the nation's leading revenue hub. A press release from the Office of the Public Relations Officer of the Command, Chief Superintendent of Customs Issa Suleiman, noted that the Customs Area Controller, Comptroller Emmanuel Oshoba, attributed the achievement to effective leadership, disciplined manpower, and the strategic deployment of technology under the guidance of the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi. He also commended compliant stakeholders whose lawful trade practices contributed significantly to the revenue growth. A major contributor to the success was the deployment of the Unified Customs Management System, the UCMS, also known as Bodogu, which enhanced transparency, efficiency, and accountability in cargo clearance processes. Regular performance reviews and timely revenue recovery measures further strengthen collections. In the area of trade facilitation, the command intensified stakeholder sensitization following the rollout of the Authorized Economic Operator, the AEO program, and expanded the One-Stop Shop OSS initiative to ensure faster processing and release of compliant cargoes. Efforts are also at an advanced stage to deploy the FS6000 cargo scanning system, a non-intrusive technology capable of scanning up to 200 containers per hour. The command also recorded enforcement successes, intercepting 53 containers laden with illicit drugs and prohibited items, including cocaine, Canadian loud, tramadol, and expired pharmaceuticals, with a duty paid value of 12 billion 632 million 239,303 naira. Some of the interceptions in the year 2025 were handed over to relevant agencies such as the NDLEA and NAFDAC for further investigation and possible prosecution. Looking ahead, Comptroller Oshoba expressed optimism that the command will achieve greater revenue milestone in 2026, driven by deeper implementation of Bodogu, AEO, and OSS, stronger intelligence-led enforcement, and expanded collaboration with sister agency. My man, of course, the Apapa Command, which is the premier, where the premier port houses, as clearly is always showing the way in terms of operations, in terms of revenue, in terms of the general performance. They are always leading. A record 2.93 trillion naira revenue generated last year. That's impressive and record breaking.
Yeah, but I say this: when you have three commands sitting within the same vicinity, you have the Apapa Command, you have the Tinkan Command, then you have the KLT Command, and if these two, as Tinkan and Apapa, is doing well, and KLT is not doing well, then they have not done well. Yes, it's as simple as ABCD. So I think that the CG of Custom needs to redefine the role of KLT amongst the commands. You can't have a command that you have men and officers, and yet the two mother commands cannot, release containers to them. So if the other two are progressing, it means that the customs is not really progressing, because they must be able to carry that baby. KLT is a baby, is a dry port, so they must carry it along. He must create a way where containers are released to them, and when you do that, you will now find out that if you now tell us that after releasing, say, 100 or 200 or 500 boxes to KLT, and you are making this budget, we'll clap for you. But when you hold on to it, and your other one is suffering, then you have not made any progress. But all the same, congratulations to Controller Oshoba.
Oshoba, yeah.
All right, great performance. Port Harcourt 2 Command exceeds revenue target by 4.46% in 2025. The Nigerian Customs Service Port Harcourt 2 Command achieved a remarkable milestone in its revenue collection in 2025. A target of 700 billion was set based on the commendable performance of the command in surpassing the 2024 revenue target. A total of 731.2 billion was collected, exceeding its 2025 revenue target, with 31.25 billion representing 4.46%. This outstanding performance is attributed to the leadership and commitment of Controller Aliyu M. Alkali, who effectively implemented the Controller General of Customs Policy Trust and the indigenous developed Unified Customs Management System (BODOGU) platform for faster cargo clearance. He ensured strict adherence to standard operating procedures, maintained high discipline among officers, and fostered continuous engagement with stakeholders. While acknowledging the importance of providing quality leadership, Controller Alkali expressed his gratitude to the management of the Nigerian Customs Service, led by the Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, for providing an enabling environment that facilitated this achievement. He also appreciated the cooperation and synergy enjoyed from critical stakeholders who contributed to the command's success story. I mean, for me, these are the kind of stories we want to hear and we applaud. And this is why we are saying that the Nigerian Ports Authority, the Minister of the Maritime and Blue Economy, and NIMASA, everybody should work. Let us open up channels. Let us open up other seaports. So that when we're talking about competition, we know where we're coming from. And we know that when we say, oh, these guys have exceeded their target, we applaud for them, because we know that they are really in competition amongst each other. But if you just have a situation where everything is centered on one place and you're clapping for yourself, then we're not moving forward.
Yeah, this is the Maritime and Border Show with Iliu Tommy and
Prince Chilaka. This is VOP 90.3 FM.
Yeah.
Very soon, Dilly, we'll be opening our channels because it's interactive and all of that. We'll be opening our phone lines will be open. But before then,
we have our guest here. Our guest is here today. He's Mr. Ken Jukbo. He's a maritime journalist of note, and he's also a practitioner in the public relations practitioner, and the MD of Juken Nigeria Limited. I beg.
That MD you call now, that company now, is not paying also. Because you're not advertising. No. Please, don't
All
go
right,
there.
okay. Let's cut the young man some slack. Mr. Jukbo, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Ken, I don't know about Mr. Jukbo, but Ken, you're welcome. Yeah. In the industry, we go by first names.
Of course. No. Yeah. I'm just trying to sort of
Thank you for having me. I've had an enjoyable time just listening to the news and the beautiful way you present and deliver it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's go directly to part of what we've just discussed here. What do you think about the performance of the Nigerian Customs Service, especially some of the commands within the past year?
Beautiful. I would like to create a balance. First, I would like to thank esteemed Prince Francis for he when he delivers praise, he has a way of drawing you to the things that you have not done. So we have delivered the praise. I believe we have delivered the praise sufficiently for customs. Like when he said that Papa is doing so well, Tinker is doing so well, but there's one that they're supposed to be feeding to that is not doing well because
that's a common offer.
So there is a need to create that balance. Then the biggest thing for me, CJ has done beautifully. We talk about AEO, authorized economic operators, talk about the Bodogu, the technological advance, talk about scanners. The biggest challenge for me is that customs still have to open a container to see what is inside. That means all the automation that we do, it has to stop at that point where they have to open, and it's a big challenge. Until we resolve that, Bodogu has not solved that problem. Bodogu, as beautiful as it is, as encompassing as it is, does not solve that problem of opening the container. Lekki Port.
Lekki Port doesn't do that anyway.
Lekki Port does that. They do. I was at Lekki Port sometime in December to observe their night operations. They hosted some journalists there, and then we saw it and we said, if you do, everything is automated, but
you must
open.
What are they opening for?
You open, you now delay. All the time that was gained will be lost at that point where physical examination is done. Container spends 16 days. Container dwell time. That's from the time the container comes from the ship and hits the Lekki port ground. It spends 16 days before it leaves the port. That's the lowest. Even as it's faster than Apapa. Apapa does 19 to 25 days. Yeah. But even at that, it's still lower than all the competitors. I have, as I was coming this morning, I did a bit of research. In Africa, the port of Durban in South Africa is way high, 3 to 4 days. In Mombasa, Kenya, 3 to 4 days. But let's not, like Prince said, let's compare to those that are on our level. So let's compare.
You mean we are not at the level?
No. You were trying to compare us to China. Okay. So Prince was telling you, better don't go there. So let's do West and Central Africa. Port of Lome, Togo, 9 days. Still better than 16 days of Lekki. Lekki is our best too. We are proud that Lekki is automated and it's 16 days. So some of these things, Port of Cotonou, Benin, 12 days. Port of Tema, Ghana, 15 days. Still marginally better. One day better than Lekki. Port of Apapa, 19 to 25 days. So some of these things.
That's our biggest port.
That's our biggest port, our busiest port. So some of these things are not, there's no science about if someone has to open a container, then all the time that other people have gained will be lost at that point. Then you find that after opening the container, Nigerian police is represented in that joint examination. We have the port police involved. We have the anti-bomb squad of police. Yes. Then after all the other agencies are part of it. Then after it has left the port, you still find a police officer telling you FOU is even beautiful. At least it belongs to customs. It's customs checks and balance. Even though it's also
a problem.
It's a problem because it speaks to
but they call it the post clearance. It's part of the post clearance audit.
If post clearance audit should mean that the container goes, you allow it to go, then you track either for funds that are lost or you track with intelligence to where it is going. But the fact that you hold it on the road,
physically delaying it.
Less than 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yes, from the port. So you have the gates. You have cleared, and someone there you are the gates.
And the man who cleared you from inside is wrong.
So it's wrong. It's very, very wrong. So it's still part of the customs. Customs are doing so well. We talked earlier about the innovations. They are very beautiful. But after innovating, and you still have these elements, human elements stopping things, then it becomes a drawback. Exactly.
But let me ask you, do you think, sincerely speaking, do you think that we can actually eliminate this human side of it? Do you think we can?
I think we can. If you look at the port, you said we had a seamless port process before with regards to the containers on the road. There was a system. It became electronic. So you need to have like a pass before you come to the corridor. And that time they enforced it. Lagos State government was part of it. MPH spearheaded it. Tinker and Apapa controllers to play their role. Then Dera Nadi, he was controller at Tinker. He played. There was even nighttime operations. So the road was not just safe at night. You could actually pass that road. Imagine passing that road by night. People were doing work at night. So if that thing could work, although like you said, some of those things Nigerians have a way of, as smart as we are, we now use our sense on the wrong side of the law, to bend things.
Okay, let me. I'm still where you are. I mean, we're talking about having a seamless trade and seamless movement of containers. I keep asking myself, why is it that the police, the DSS, because they're part of those, the NAFDAC, Why is it that
Some.
all these agencies have not been able to solve one problem? And that is the problem of when cars are driven out from Apapa or Tinkan or everywhere, and they get to Mile 2, they have those touts on the bridge that stop
Extort money.
extort money. And if you refuse to give them, they will damage
Destroy the
something.
vehicles.
So why is it that rather than arresting the containers, why are these agencies not taking steps to stop that?
Non-state actors. Well, that's that's a tough one, tough nuts to crack. But someone said, Mr. Daly said something earlier. I said if we have the will to stop something, because there is this thing we say in the local parlance, say you can't drag land with government. So anything government is really bent on achieving, you really can and you will. So that's this thing now. They are non-state actors. Even in the port corridor, you find people that they will hold stuff. They've got their wharf landing fee or wharf.
Okay.
They collect just for you. They are the boys of the port environment.
Jobs they created for the boys
themselves.
Yeah.
You know. So, but in a sane environment, these things are not. Let's say Lekki Port is still part of the corridor. I've not seen that, although there were some times there were complaints that people were trying to do it. The Lekki Port environment is beautiful. This one is not there. So if we decide, we engage the local government chairperson, the governor through the state commissioner for transport, engages, because these people are not, you find that these people have very influential people that are backing them, either at state government level, at local government level, or at federal level. So if we engage properly, we can actually very easily remove this, and it adds to the cost. If somebody pays 10,000 naira, the importer will just say, okay, pay. When it comes, he calculates how many naira and kobo, how much did I pay extra. Then he adds it to the cost, and we all suffer. Then we say things they are extorting us. This thing is this in this country. In our other country, is cheaper. Why is it cheaper? Because of all these layers of economic burden on imports.
Yeah, specifically, let me ask you, what's your reaction to this? The rating by the SA to the Minister for Marine and Blue Economy on their achievements,
on their performance. Okay. He's a senior colleague.
He's a senior colleague, of course. So,
okay.
But give us your own personal.
My personal opinion, they did very well. IMO is a beautiful outing, but then again, to strike a balance, there is this country very close to us, Ghana. Ghana is not in the IMO Council, but I can list 2 big benefits Ghana has over Nigeria. If you are a seafarer now, you want to get a certificate, you rather go to Ghana to get your certificate
than here.
Yes, because Ghana is on the IMO whitelist, and on that IMO whitelist, you can sail internationally with that certificate. Nigeria, what you have is near coastal voyage. You can only sail in Nigerian water. You can't go outside. So Ghana has got that one sorted. That's one advantage. Then look at the ports themselves. We looked at Ghana ports compared to Lekki, that is our biggest and brightest. Ghana is still faring better in port operations. So while we are saying, yes, let's be on the table where decisions are being made, but our home, so we look at you as a maritime nation. Your own Nigeria has more young people that needs employment than Ghana. So Nigerians will go to Ghana to go and get certificate to be a seafarer because you want to go and trade internationally. That's a bigger burden to me than being on an IMO list, which is very beautiful. I don't in any way downplay it. But if you ask me, choose one thing for Nigeria in 2025, I have very many seafarer friends who chat me up and say, please, I'm trying to get a job. They see you as a journalist at an event, they hug you, and you, after speaking all the English, you cannot help them
to get a job.
They tell you their problems, and sometimes you write it, and it looks like you are demarketing Nigeria. Sometimes you have to mellow down again and still try to solve the problem instead of just blowing it. So I feel some of these things are bigger problems. So while we praise them, let's also tell them that this IMO white list, Nigeria should be there. You go to Man Oron, very beautiful. The IMO Secretary General was there, although sometimes when these people come and praise you, you don't take everything, but he was excited. A lot of experts that are in the maritime sector, marine, master mariners, marine engineers have gone there. The likes of Engineer Greg Ogbefu, at his age and at his experience, he can tell you what is and what's not. He's no longer looking for fuel. He tells you that this school is top notch, it's the best you can get. Yet someone comes from that school with all the facilities, and you cannot go sail out of the country. So these are big problems.
All right. Let's look at Nigerian Shippers Council. I mean, you as a pressman, as a media person, you've really interacted with them. How would you rate them 2025?
2025, I have to be objective. I have lots of friends there that when they hear me, they'll be like, what's happening? I think for Nigerian Shippers Council, the biggest challenge is that they've set, in 2025, they set their eyes away from their economic regulatory position.
Rule, yeah.
Their eyes was on getting their Imperial Act. All attention was just focused on, it's beautiful. The Imperial Act will make a lot, but while you are going for that, the industry in 2025 suffered. The industry did suffer. There were lots of issues. There were lots of economic issues. But then again, on their side, they can also tell you that that thing will give us backing to even solve this problem.
Hands are
Yes,
tied.
yes, without that thing. But if you compare to previous years, I believe they did more. They were more hands-on addressing economic issues. Then, like Prince Chilaka said, I don't understand why, for any reason, I might be greedy. I might not have a shipping company, but I don't see why those people deserve to be increasing their charges for such a time as this. Like the freight forwarder said, diesel price has stabilized in recent times. Forex has been stabilized in recent times. So what is the yardstick for this increase? Most of them don't have empty container holding bays. We talk about MPA and truckers disturbing the port environment. Some of them don't have where to keep their empties. I know 2 big shipping companies at Tinkan they are the ones because they bring in, they don't take out.
Give me their name.
Can we call?
You cannot
anybody here.
We have MSC and we have Maxline.
Call out
There's
anybody.
serious problems on the papa. So it's not just the truckers. So now they bring containers to Nigeria. They don't take out. They don't have a space to keep their empty containers. So there's a challenge.
MSC and
Maxline,
I beg. If una dey there, make una hear
So
am.
we need
You guys cannot come to Nigeria and hold Nigerians to ransom.
Yes.
Be up and doing.
For me, it is not acceptable. If you're coming to do business in Nigeria, come and do business so that it will be mutually benefiting. You don't turn Nigeria into a dump site. You know, and then you create so much traffic. It's not allowed. We will not support it. If you do something good, we will say yes, you've done. But if you are causing some form of nuisance on the roads,
we'll call you out.
We will not accept that.
Yeah.
So
Okay, go on.
So I have the MSC new charges. I'm just looking at it, and so MSC has increased 2 charges. One of them is actually very questionable. I recall some 3 or 4 years ago, we had one of the top men at Anelka. I think at that time he was sole administrator or acting president. That's Dr. Kayode Farito, yes. Yeah. And then there was this charge he complained about. They called it port additional charges. Shipping lines charge it. And among the ones they increased, they also increased that port additional charges.
Who collects that funds?
Shipping lines.
For what?
For what service? The name alone is confusing. Port additional charges.
For what?
Charges. Is it that the Nigerian Shippers Council did not go through this list before giving them approval, or they just did it out of...
Well, Ken just say something now that they were complaining about not getting this Imperial Act,
giving them opportunity.
Giving them the opportunity to really regulate.
They were dragged to court.
Yeah.
Over the years, they've been dragged
to wield the big stick.
That thing
now it's been passed.
But I don't think there was any final.
No, but if you say, let me tell you the truth. If you say they have been dragged to court, then the government itself is complicit.
Exactly.
Because the government is you can't give somebody power without authority. It's as simple as ABC. So maybe the government do not want them to function.
And this is the basic area, the major thing they've been complaining about, that they do not have the power to act. You can't. They've been set up there, given a name, given an office, given an authority, but they seem not to have the power to sanction anybody, especially these all-powerful shipping companies. So it's ridiculous.
I hear in recent times the acts going to the presidency, and at some point they are directed for some issues to be brought out. One of the biggest challenges that stakeholders have raised over that Imperial Act, or over Shippers Council becoming a regulator, is that when Shippers Council becomes a regulator, it also regulates some of the government agencies.
And they don't want it.
And some of these people are very influential. So I believe it's until, like you said earlier, you guys, and when you were taking the news, you analyze all you say the issues, you told us the problems, you told us how to go about it, until we see ourselves as one Nigeria. Because if you look at the issue, Shippers Council will regulate the likes of MPA, the likes of NIMASA.
But that's
and they don't want it.
They don't want
that's why government set them up.
So
but that's why government set them up.
Nobody will come out to tell you that this is the problem, but it is. We've seen some signs. We had there was this bill. This was it a bill for container, something that MPA and Shippers Council dragged over the years. I'm trying to remember. I'll remember it before we leave. You know, it's something for like an innovation to track containers, to tell you what is in the container. Is it IESM or something? You know, that thing was at some point was MPA. Later it moved to Shippers Council. Then it came to MPA. Then it came to, it's just one service going back and forth, back and forth.
Ken, I think the problem is, let us say it as it is. I think the problem is this mindset that every agency is revenue generating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So people have left the core.
And mind you, Shippers Council is not revenue generating.
No,
so when some of these ones like revenue generating begins to press.
You know, it's like, you see, I keep telling people it's like LASMA. When the last administration of LASMA focused on revenue generating. And that was why I had a lot of issues with LASMA. You know, they drag your key with you, the task force. But when LASMA now came back to its core responsibility, which is traffic management, there are no problems. So now, even when you do an infraction, they warn you as a first offender. They correct you. If you're about to enter a one-way, they tell you, please don't enter.
Instead of dragging you in.
Before, what they do is they hide.
Yes,
they hide somewhere, they drag you in, and they come
snap
to,
you
know. So we need to, the government needs to disemphasize this whole idea of turning almost all the MDAs or agencies into revenue generating.
That service was city and cargo tracking needs.
Yeah.
Yes, record. It's moved from MPA to Shippers Council. The reason they were moving it so that it becomes a proper, because it was also a revenue generating service. He said no, it's not supposed to. Let it be a proper. It now went back. So you can imagine that's just the game between the agencies. You know.
Now they are all children of one father, the federal government.
Yes.
Is it not in the interest of the federal government to streamline and outline whatever roles each agency is supposed to play?
It is.
So why are they dragging about all this? This interagency squabbles and quarrels, it's not healthy for the country. It's not healthy for the development of the maritime sector. It's not healthy for anybody in any way you may think about it. So why can't they streamline operations and probably outline what functions or what roles each agency plays?
I think the call should be to the minister, because interestingly, all of them are under the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. So if we, at that stage, they should understand that Nigeria should come first. If Nigeria comes first, things are done better. If MPA does its work without looking to outdo, okay, let's draw an example. So some of these terminal operators, their concession is expiring. Lots of them have expired. They have not renewed, you know. And by the time MPA was entering into the deal, there was no economic regulator when the time the concession was drawn. So it's like myself and Mr. Dile going into an agreement. I am a regulator. I'm also an operator. I'm not telling you, okay, this is what you will do, this is what you pay, this is what you pay. You will just say yes, yes, yes. You are receiving the contract. So now, at some point, when I'm supposed to do the things that I should do, like I'm supposed to dredge the channel of your port, so that your port terminal is accessible, I don't do it. You cannot drag me, because there's no umpire. I'm a regulator. I'm also supposed to do some services.
No, but sorry, Ken. I think the problem is when you have an operator, a regulator, also taking up the responsibility of an operator.
Yes.
So they are already ab initio. They're already competing.
Yes.
So we need to define it.
That is where the Shippers Council should come in.
So if you're an operator, we know you're an operator. I mean, you're an operator. If you're a regulator, simple. You can't have Nigerian Ports Authority, who is meant to control the traffic,
the port environment.
And then they also now
providing services
for people to park. It doesn't work out. I don't know why our government.
So the Nigerian Shippers Council should be empowered to do its duty.
Exactly.
They should be
empowered. If you give them that power, it is only fair to say, okay, you have been empowered, and they don't, then you say they are not.
Then you can, yes, if they can't perform, then you will the big stick.
Against,
but give them the power, the necessary power tools to do their job, because the sector is suffering because of this quagmire that we find ourselves in. Now, let's look at some of the other agencies within the sector. Okay. Well, how would you rank, let's say, NIWA, for example?
NIWA.
Yeah,
As beautiful as Niwa, lots of activities are. The fact that we still see, I think over the Christmas period, we saw about
both
mishaps. But it's Niwa's responsibility amongst the agencies in the government. They look like the smallest, but ideally, if you look at Nigeria's inland waterways, how vast it is, it should be the biggest and the busiest.
28 states with navigable waters.
Yeah, navigable waters. So does Niwa have enough resources to do the job? Are they fully established? Even in Lagos, are they fully? You still find that they say don't sail at night, but can they enforce not sailing at night?
Do they have the necessary tools?
They don't have it.
Well, why would we stop sailing at night?
Why not sailing at night is not a problem.
It's not a problem.
It's because the boats that we have, they don't have the night navigable aids.
So why don't they enforce it?
They do to the best of their ability.
No.
Let me give you an example.
Don't say to the best of their ability. If we're saying that for you to cross the express is a crime, I see people refusing to use the footbridge. Sometimes I don't blame them, because sometimes you even see the Lagos state government park that their task force at Sele, which is meant to enforce people using the footbridge. They will be there, people will be crossing. They're just, there's this nonchalant, laissez-faire attitude by some Nigerian security agencies or those who are meant to enforce it. So we shouldn't cut a slack for them. If they're meant to enforce it, they should enforce it.
I agree.
Irrespective of whose ass is God.
I think a lot of their money.
A
lot of the money for Niwa should go into sensitization and engaging through downstream media like radio. It's on the radio that they should tell people not to sail, because for some areas people only have access by water. So if you must do something at night, you must do it before it is dark, because you cannot provide. The government has provided some sort of aid for life jackets, but they cannot extend that aid to boats that can move at night. That's capital intensive. We need PPP arrangement for that. So until you have those kind of boats, all these accidents you find they either happen late at night, early in the morning, late at night. Yeah. So it means it is the boat captain could not see something as little as a spill, as a wreck. Having
a smaller version of Titanic in 2025.
I'm telling you, and on almost a monthly or weekly basis, it's sad. So we need an approach. First, for me, I'll suggest we sensitize people. If I know very well, I hear on radio that all the accident that has happened, 80% of it happened from 7:30 in the night when it was dark, to early morning when it was too early. I will not go by that time. If I have to go, I will go very early, or I leave that journey to the next day.
But the former MD of Niwa has done a great job in trying to sensitize people, and of course, you just talked about the life jackets that they've been distributing.
But it's not enough.
Yeah, but even the life jackets, I'm aware because I use these boats sometimes. You find out that some people don't wear them. You board the boat, maybe you pretend to be wearing. Once you get inside, you remove it. Yeah. And so, why can't Nigerians do the simple things that will save their lives?
Okay, it still boils down to the same thing: sensitization. If I know that something saves my life, some people will say the jacket is dirty, but if I know that this thing saves my life, I will wear it. I recall there was an incident I had sometime at was it Apapa? I was going by the waterway to Ojo, Sifak. Remember Ojo? There's a jetty around the axis. So I was coming from Apapa. I was carrying my beautiful bag of rice that someone had gifted me. Very happy. I think it was Christmas season, Yuletide season. I boarded this boat. The boat captain was excited. Everybody was happy. But he didn't pay attention. He had bought fuel. He didn't buy oil. One of those small boats that they call it banana boat, but it has an engine. Yeah. He bought fuel. He didn't buy oil. He just in with other people. He poured the fuel.
I forgot about
the oil. And the thing stopped.
In the middle of nowhere.
When you put it on, it made a weird sound.
Like it was going to...
I'm not an engineer, but I still sounded... But I felt, okay, it will work. The guy that is the engineer did not think it was... Midway, the thing, the pop...
It's probably mid-sea.
I'm from Delta State, even though I did not plan to swim on that day. But I know that I would not drown in that water if I had entered. But other people are there praying. That boat does not even have a paddle. As little as a paddle to paddle it. That boat on that particular incident, so about 3 or 4 years ago, the boat didn't have a paddle. So some people had to get up. We used one of the seats as paddle. So you can imagine. We were underwater for like 10 minutes before we got
somebody to
and this didn't happen around. This was few minutes to 6. So we were on the water. It was now past 6.
So if you were, if assuming that nobody came,
maybe we would have done an all night.
all right, yeah. I mean, this is VOP 90.3 FM. This has been the Maritime and Border Show.
Yeah.
I have with me
Dele Utomi.
and we have Mr. Ken in the
Ken
house.
Jukbo.
Thank you.
Yes, so
The
we're going to open
frontline
our phone
journalist.
lines. We're going to open our phone lines. The numbers are 0700 903 903 903.
You can also call us on 0817 175 6338 or 0803 69 29933. Now, Ken, do an appraisal of an agency such as the Nigerian Ports Authority.
Okay.
Yeah, their performance for 2025. What do you think? They are the landlord to most of the ports we have in the country.
Yes.
Do you think they play their role very well in 2025, or what could they have done more, or what should they do
Have
better
done
in
better.
2026?
Okay. We talked about the port traffic. I believe early 2025 it was beautiful, but towards the end of 2025 we saw the repeat of some of those traffic issues. I think that could be managed better. Then also there's this we talked about earlier, TTP arrangement, the truck park arrangement, the call-up, Eto call-up system. It started beautifully, but at the moment, we are at a summit organized by Nigerian Shippers Council, and it was not the first time. It was actually not the second time I was hearing that people buy call-up. So there is now a call-up racket.
Hold your thought there. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Afternoon, welcome to the program.
Mr. Tilaka, Mr. Otomi, and Mr. Ken, I greet the house.
Good afternoon to you,
Good
sir.
afternoon
Your
to
name and
you.
where you're calling from, sir?
This is Kemchika, I'm calling from Egypt.
Okay, you're welcome, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I'm just talking about this CRFFM. There should be this robust sensitization, because that agency is going to really help freight forwarders. But I don't know if they really know much about it. So you guys should please enlighten the freight forwarders about it.
Okay.
That's what.
All right, thank you.
Okay, finish with your thoughts. Then we'll talk about CRFFM.
Okay, so we're looking at MPA. So MPA is also responsible for that aspect of that business. If MPA should ensure that these rackets, whatever it is, when you smoke without fire. I'm yet to get, sometimes when we report, we need to get the
facts.
I have the new rates for the shipping companies no longer proposed. They have started implementing it. I have bill of lading of MSC that has collected the new charge, so I can write about it factually. For this one too, is a burden and a concern.
Hold on, please. Go ahead.
Hello?
So people shouldn't
Hold on.
shouldn't buy call-up
Hello?
without having business to do in the port. So now
Hello?
sell it again. So that racket should
Hello,
not
good
be there.
afternoon.
MPA should
Hello?
eliminate
Can
it.
you hold on 1 second?
Good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. Go
Good
ahead.
afternoon.
Go ahead. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We can hear you. Go ahead.
My name is Pascal. I'm calling from Ajangadu.
Go ahead.
Good
sir.
afternoon, Mr. Pascal.
My brother,
Okay.
I'm a clearing agent. Our major problem is when you want to see your job, they will say maritime police have seen your job. Shipping company, they are giving them information about your container, to hold your container. When you reach your boundaries, maritime police will say their money na 150,000. They will say make you write statement. He affected me. I say which statement? My container. Which statement I will write? I'm not going to write any statement. And I call one of my sister that is assistant commissioner of police. He now chat on them. He say she now tell me say na the agent na they cause the whole problem, because na the agent and the shipper council na they cause the whole problem. As I give my sister the phone, then I say sorry, my son, yeah, go and carry your container. Then I say go. They will not collect money from my hand.
Sorry, sir. Please, I need you to clarify something. When your sister, the police officer, what did she say that the Shippers Council did or did not do to cause the problem?
It says shipper council, trade association,
they are the people that even help the police maritime. They are not supporting the agents. They are supporting police.
Okay.
Are you hearing me?
Sorry, sir, I do not understand. By which way? Did they give them information or they ask them to?
Information about the container. About the, okay, they give them the manifest.
Okay.
The manifest.
I get you.
Are you understanding?
Yes.
We will address it.
Let's just quickly address you.
No. So that is the thought. They say, now only you get assistant commissioner. Go.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, sir.
Then they don't collect money from my daddy.
Okay.
Another thing.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, go on.
Another thing. FOU. They really pay a first gate here. They disturb people. Hello.
Well,
Go
yeah,
on, I'm hearing you.
Okay. FOU, they will stay at first gate here, disturbing people. If no do their own clearance, if no settle them, they will not allow you to go.
all right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let's
Alright.
speak to the issue of police first.
Police, yes.
You know, in December, while we're training maritime training, I don't know were you not training.
I
right?
was not. I
Okay,
traveled.
you missed if you were in that training, because this same accusation came up by the person who presented the deputy president of ANALCA. ANALCA is Association of Nigerian Licensed Custom Agents. So they said Nigerian Shippers Council partners with the police to intercept cargoes that have been cleared. That was the allegation at that summit. Then 2 days later, Nigerian Shippers Council hosted a conference because of this allegation that this man just said now. So what happened? It was at that place that we got the background of this relationship between the police and Shippers Council. So Shippers Council under former ES, Barrister Hassan Bello, had tried to take away police from intercepting cargoes. And in doing so, they entered an MOU with the police that if you have to do anything that has to do with any container, write us. You understand? So that was to provide some layers of check so that they will not stop everything, so that there will be fewer containers that will be intercepted. So that regime passed, that MOU was ignored. Then police now at this stage now intercept containers and tell freight forwarders to go and get Shippers Council's
letter,
like get Shippers Council to approve us to clear you.
it.
So they now it now became like a racket.
Oh,
You understand? So there is no Shippers Council doesn't even know what is in the manifest. It's not like Shippers cannot have their own there is to regulate. The information they have is complaints that freight forwarder brings to them. Say they are charging me too much. That's when Shippers Council gets to
freight
receive
forwarders
it.
are now indirectly indicting.
Yes, so it now looks like at that summit we told Shippers Council the only way to go about this to remove your name is to abscond. You have no business
in that chain.
Yes, so leave that agreement now is not being respected, because that was premised on the fact that police will not intercept cargoes because it's not their business. It's customs rule.
Yeah.
If you have any suspicion, relate it to the customs. That's
and
the
besides,
rule.
they are usually there when
And
they
they are
do the
there when it
inspection.
is done.
You
But
know, last year, you remember when this issue was in front burner,
Yeah.
the Nigerian Maritime Police, I think their PRO, issued a statement. And in one of those statements, it said that one of the containers that they confiscated had
guns, even if you have
and then we
guns
asked
and
the
drugs.
question: if the container you confiscated have guns, ammunition, or have drugs,
Why was it not declared
was
at
it
the
not
point of
declared?
inspection when they were there?
because
when
your
it was-
people are always there during the
So they have they have port police, they have
Anti-bomb.
anti-bomb squad,
And
two
then they have
police
police.
units are in the
No, they have three. They have police, they have anti-bomb, they have marine police.
marine police.
I don't understand what is with the Nigerian police. Why must everybody be calling them out? The IG of police needs to do more.
He needs to.
He needs to wake up.
Police has no business intercepting cargo.
They don't
They
have
have
any
no
business.
business.
Oh, yes, a sister
That is fully
agency
a
has
customs
done its
function.
job, and you are there coming to intercept.
And in the way business and logistics flows, anything that has been released by customs
It's released.
is released. It should not be stopped for any reason, whether by customs new units, FOU, like the man highlighted. That means if FOU intercept something, that means those officers that released it,
Yeah.
Should be held
it should be held responsible.
They're in that.
They're not doing
FOU
what
has
they're
no
supposed
business
to do.
intercepting anything. Police has no business originally.
I'm just hearing about this marine police since we just started. Was it on November? I think it was
The complaints have become more.
Yeah.
It has become
Yeah.
more. And in that summit, the PRO, like you said, he was saying, if you see how much it is not, is flawed. He said, if you see how much we have intercepted, we intercepted one 2 weeks ago that had guns.
Where is it?
But if they did, they will hold the press conference for it.
Of course, now.
There was no.
It's very,
There was no
very
press conference
sensational.
about the
They
whole
have to
thing.
justify by
So
saying something.
there's no reason. There's no
Where
reason
is the
for
evidence that they
police.
intercept those things?
There's
And
no
where's the
reason.
evidence?
And there should be some layers of, like you say, when you do something, there should be some consequences. So when a policeman stops something, let's assume that thing had in some infractions, really has some infractions, and you search and it doesn't have any infraction. That delay that has been caused, who pays for it? Who pays? Because even if you tell this man now he was influential, he knows someone he could call. When you don't know someone to call, that delay, your importer will be on. If you are a freight forwarder, you have not completed your job until it gets to the importer's warehouse. So your importer will put pressure on you to get your cargoes delivered.
And whatever cost that is being carried, you
will bear it. So that delay, who pays for it? Who pays? So is a structural problem.
The Nigerian police, please allow businesses to flow. The maritime police, there's been so much complaints about your activities, stopping cargoes have already been cleared along the port corridors. A whole lot of complaints are coming in. Please.
No, what's the difference between that and those non-state actors we saw?
Exactly.
There's no difference.
Just some
taking-
on uniform.
Taking
And the
people
more
to ransom.
corporates is asking for
Holding people to
150,000 for what? For what service?
They are basically doing the same
And
thing.
after paying that 150,000, that container becomes free from all the infractions that it had while before it was intercepted,
Including the contraband inside.
including whatever was inside it. It's just
Please,
so
going on,
sad.
Ken, let's talk about, because we are looking at the maritime sector generally now, holistically, in 2025. What's your own assessment of the CRFF and the Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarders in Nigeria in 2025? That gentleman was saying we should
get them involved. Okay, they've not done a lot in recent times, but the good thing I would say is that they have someone who is a registrar that is proactive. He was a practitioner.
Yeah.
I think he was a practitioner, and he's innovative. And there was this before he became the registrar. There was this summit that CRFN organized, training for freight forwarders. It was part of that training, and the minister was represented in that training. It was engaging. The journalists were there too, and he was bringing insights into what happens in other climes, what happens in Europe, what happens in UK. So I was excited to see that we could compare. He was trying to say what a freight forwarder should do, what the environment should be. So now he's there. I said that as background to stress that he understands what should be done.
Yeah.
So now he's there. He needs to ensure freight forwarders are trained. They should. If a freight forwarder is trained, it becomes difficult for them to be extorted. And if, for instance, we've seen police and other layers of checks that are just to make money, if they are properly trained, they will know where to turn to when they have such issues. Mm-hmm. And CRFN can also create a platform to address them, because they are freight forwarders. These are freight forwarders' problems. Not just beyond training, you should have a way to solve some of their problems. So they should train more, and to train they need money. But I know they were out of the government coffers, government budgetary allocation, but they are now back. They are back. So I know money is no longer a problem. Money was a problem at some point this year, but it's no longer a problem. Last year, thank you. Money was a problem, but now it's no longer a problem. They have budgetary provisions. They should train, and the training should not be in Abuja. It should be, like Mr. Chilaka pointed out, take it to where the freight forwarders are. The ones in Lagos, train them in Lagos. Train the ones in Port Harcourt. Train them where they are, to address real issues and to make things proceed in speed in an efficient manner.
All right. Now that we're talking about this CFR and FFN, why is it that freight forwarders are finding it difficult to key into it? Are they scared? Or is it that they don't even understand what it stands for?
Actually, sorry, let me also buttress his point in question. There's this dichotomy amongst the freight forwarders. Some call themselves, some say they are not freight forwarders, they are licensed customs agents, and they are not actually in support of the activities of freight forwarders. Why can't they, like he's asking, come together to solve their problems.
Okay, the background first starts with is also is a money. There are several. There is ego. There's I'm a custom license agent. I'm a freight forwarder. We have the biggest.
So
ones,
just
Adaka,
nomenclature.
Yes,
but the main thing
is money. There's a monetary challenge as well. So you find a customs agent who has paid so much to be regulated by Nigerian Customs Service to have a license. And now he's telling you he's a licensed custom agent. He doesn't have to report to CRFM because of the monetary implications. But if CRFN, the burden is now on CRFN to become so relevant that people see the value that you bring, that they want to identify with you. So for someone who is a licensed customs agent, he's telling you, my job is to deal with customs and clear the cargo. I don't need you. But if you bring enough value to the table, that person will be willing to identify with you. But the CRFN, the law, empower CRFN to regulate the freight forwarders, and by the structure of who a custom license agent is, his service is under freight forwarding.
Freight forwarding, yes, of course.
You understand?
Whether he likes it or not.
If I pay to customs to get a license, and I'm going to pay to CRFN, it becomes a burden.
No, but how is it a burden? Because see, customs is who you deal with.
CRFN is a regulator.
Is a regulator. So there shouldn't be any burden. I just think that freight forwarders are more like finding it difficult to tune into the 21st century. A lot of them still prefer their paper, carrying this, So I think that is it. Just hold on one. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir. Your name and where you're calling.
Yeah, my name is Young School. I'm calling from Lagos.
You're welcome, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I'm a Canadian.
Okay.
All right.
If you want one thing in Nigeria is that whatever they say container, you just move it as if that container is an ATM machine. That is, you see so many forces. Release all kinds of different customs. They call themselves federal. They call themselves sovereign. So many of them. You see, when you move on the road, that you will spend a lot of money. Look at in Ghana. Ghana don't have all these things. Go declare complaint at the wharf and you pass the gate of Ghana, you are free to go anywhere you are going. Except you are passing Ghana border, you only see a custom, one custom, and immigration. That's all. But in Nigeria, they are making things difficult, even difficult in the price of the goods. You are cleared. So what this is now, importer has to pay his money. You have to calculate all this money they have spent. You see? So in Nigeria, once you have a custom at the wharf, they have the DSS, they have NAFDAC or drug, or those are the people that are supposed to be in the wharf. They have to be government officials and that police. I don't know, even if you show a policeman document, it doesn't even know what is in the document. He doesn't even know what is the deal of it. He will start asking you some questions that he doesn't know about. Maybe hire for somebody. Doesn't anything to one person. In the mindset, you start asking kinds of questions. After that, I look at them and say, you want to enter custom? You want to leave police? You police enter custom and know what is meant for to deal with documents. You see, from here, you can't take so many police on the road. Why not this? It's good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Now, Ken, what can you say about interagency collaboration within in 2025? Well, bearing in mind what we just said now about police doing their own post clearance audits, if we have to call it that way, by stopping cargoes that have been cleared.
Not too long ago, about maybe a little long, about 4 years ago or more, where we had Barrister Hassan Bello, we had what we called a quarterly, I think it's not quarterly, monthly meeting of heads of agencies.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, we had that, but I don't think that structure remained. Under that, under a similar arrangement, we had this MPPM, Nigerian Port Process Manual developments, and they talked about joint examination, and there were regular meetings, even aside the ones being held by the CEOs of those agencies. There were the ones being held by principal officers, lower rank officers, field officers. So I don't think that is happening anymore. So that's why we begin to see a lot of, it's like
This
everybody
rivalry.
just, yes, rivalry. What's in it for me, without caring what another person has done. It's
It's all
annoying.
about greed.
It's about greed.
Selfishness.
Yes. Then we had a seamless. You walk into a press conference of that kind of month-end meeting. You see them all seated. You see Shepherd's Council. You see the Massa. You see MPA. You see police. You find everybody on the table discussing issues. At some points when it became very heated, they will kindly ask the press to excuse them, excuse us, excuse them at that time. And when we come back, we'll ask issues on those. You see that they will take a general position. So it was easier to deal with issues. So we don't have that anymore. We need to reinstitute that. In 2025, I didn't see that happening in the maritime space. We found everybody trying to show
To outsmart,
to outsmart the other. Everybody seeing himself as a government revenue generating agency. Of what use is police trying
Which
to tell you?
causes interagency rivalry.
Of what use is police trying to justify why he should open a container?
Maybe you said it that they say if you see the quantity of items that
we have
seen, ridiculous.
Of what use is it? So we need to return to that approach. The ministry, then we didn't even have a Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy.
Yeah.
So just an innovation by the then CEOs, led by the former CEO Hassan Bello, and they were all coming to the table.
No, even going back to that, why is it that virtually everybody within the maritime sector keep referring to Hassan Bello in terms of the standard? I mean, why wasn't the man given a further responsibility? If we had to go into that,
leadership.
Everybody talks about
at least he did his 2 tenure. To get his second tenure, if you hear the politicking behind it, as good as it was.
I think Nigeria has become a country where those who are ready, willing to put in their best, are not allowed to do it. They're not allowed to do it.
He championed a lot. If you look at the issues with competition,
and again, because he could do that because he grew along the ranks.
The ranks, true.
Yeah, he went through the mills of the administration of
So are we saying that just bringing in people
from outside
is a problem?
It's a problem because they need a year or two to catch up to get to understand the industry.
Okay, there's a question that has been begging finance, and let's see if we can look at it. If you check the appointments made by the CG towards the tail end of 2025, in terms of all the area controllers, the CSCs, we seem to find that most of them are DCs rather than controllers. And the question is, are we moving from DCs occupying those positions to controllers occupying CSCs to DCs?
Okay, I know within customs rank there are several issues that affect. I know there is the balance. There's the ethnic balance, zoning. There is also the office and the skill set of the particular person that you are bringing in. So sometimes beyond having someone that is capable and at a level, you look at the skill set of the officer you are bringing to a particular place. Although at that level, most of them have had the benefit of serving across land border, sea border, ICT aspects, operational. So at that level, most of them actually can function wherever you put them. So I think some of these things may influence why you see a DC acting instead. Like we saw in KLT, we saw at FOU for a long time before he became controller. He was already DC serving there. So I don't think I understand all the dynamics, but I just know. But from the CG, from his leadership style, I think you pointed it earlier. If there's somebody that you say, not too many bad complaints, not too many skeletons in the cupboards, if any. I'm not sure I recall any major ones. For other agencies, if you just type their MD name, you will see one thing that somebody is trying to bury. But for him, he has been fair in his leadership style. He has tried to engage. He gives opportunities to even the younger ones. You see someone like the spokesman of customs, even going out to do things. Not all heads of agencies will allow such. Be magnanimous enough to allow their spokesperson to handle issues. Yes, and at one of the trainings, the spokesman was one of he had an engagement with journalists in December, and he said the CEO, the Controller General called him at some time over an issue. One of his lower PROs has responded to something in the public domain that he shouldn't have responded. And he didn't know that his CG was, he's actually a PR person.
Yeah, for years.
So he called him a day after he responded and said, this person, and he said, sir, this person actually reported, but it's my responsibility. And he kept quiet.
He took responsibility.
He took this current PR took, and he said the CG was impressed that he took responsibility for that, because you understand what PR is. But you see, he also allows people to deal with issues. He could have called him out on that. He allowed it to stay a day later, so that it doesn't look like he added pressure to them. So he shows some level of flexibility and intelligence with his leadership style. Beyond that, I may not know if there is any other reason why we have such.
Right, I'm going to take us to Lekki now.
Okay.
Today, everybody's looking at Lekki as being more like this is
The standard
for
modernization.
Yes, and I'm also asking if we introduce this new scanning machines.
Yes.
Will they still have all these other agencies at the ports?
That's the ones Papa is.
Yes. Would there be need for them?
Lekki is operating at 50% capacity.
Yeah.
Even now, and I think they ranked second, just behind Apapa
in terms
for
of
throughput
Yeah,
for cargos
yeah,
that they
yeah,
handled.
yeah.
For the last, I think last two quarters of last year. Yeah, the last half of last year. So it's beautiful. We're excited, and the question you asked is very, very, very apt. If we cannot scan, see everything, and do everything without any physical stuff, then all the gains that we have gotten from modernization and automation and all the investment in technology would come to waste. So at Lekki Port, we are told they have scanners that can see, that can show you everything, in a container. But does that satisfy the curiosity of Nigerian Customs Service? I think that's the biggest question. If customs is not satisfied, it's still a customs port.
Mm-hmm.
So if customs is not satisfied and they still have to open anything, then that gain that we have gotten from Lekki's investment in technology, state-of-the-art equipment is wiped out, because they have to open a particular container. So they do have their own scanners that are state-of-the-art, and we do believe that customs are providing these scanners. So the concern we have, I think one of the biggest concerns is these cargoes that are in group H. You don't have one container, one cargo that is just uniform stuff. But even at that, there are technologies to see everything and identify everything.
Yeah.
So if you have such kind of technologies, we don't need to open. And if we don't open,
the new scanner that he's talking about, the one
they can actually see those things.
The one in Apapa,
yes.
Can they scan group page and see everything? Or you don't know the capacity of the scanner?
I don't know the capacity.
It's not been put into use.
I know they test run it in December. One of the DCGs was in Apapa.
Yeah.
And then we were told they can scan 200 scanners in an hour, 200 containers in an hour. But we didn't ask this question, because that's a premise on the fact that everything is just a single. Perhaps it's premised on a single good kind of container. So if can it scan multiple and then interpret the images also in real time, such that they don't have to open. My concern is that opening container, because I believe that's the only thing that seems to be the manual at our ports now.
Yeah.
That's the only. If your other thing has gone digital.
Yeah, but my question is still, when we do this scanning, do we still need other agencies at the port?
No, we don't. And we have the national single window.
Exactly.
If you
which is
have,
coming up in March.
which is coming up. So if you have that thing scanned and it's uploaded on a window and everybody can see. If you have any interest, you can say, okay, I'm dissatisfied with this, and an explanation will be made based on your concern.
Yeah.
So I believe this may be a very, very good time for shipping this 2026. I hope it works. I hope we don't find a Nigerian way of.
We hope that
because
there are no glitches.
It's very worrisome. Lekki, like you just said, was opportune to be there sometime last year, and then one of the managers was saying that it takes about 33 seconds for a container to be scanned. If it takes 33 seconds for a container to be scanned, only for you now to say after that you now want to do physical examination again, which may take it delays the cargo again for some days. It makes no sense of everything that has been achieved. Yeah,
I agree with you. But I think these are issues that we have to address at national single window discourse level. I think because it's beyond because for customs they will genuinely want to justify whatever they do, tell you, oh, we found this, we found this, we found this, we found this. But if we should have a system, we should be able to say we've scanned, and it's can some things be negligible, like if you find I don't want to excuse whatever kind of concealment, but if we have to make the sacrifice to expedite things, we should be able to let go of some other things, you know, not to say we are trying to conceal or something that is stuck somewhere in one part of the container. We should be able to have a system. I believe we should be able to go around it. Have a system that scans, tells you what's what, you know, and we just go. We make it. Our ports will be more. People, investors will come. People would like to do business with Nigeria. The smuggling that happens through the border, because we've seen that aside being cheaper. By the way, these other ports are cheaper than Nigerian ports. Yeah. Some of the costs we complain about are still associated with some of this extortion. But the ports of Lome, ports of Tema are cheaper. They are faster. So it makes more economic sense to take your cargoes there than to bring it to Nigeria. But we are the giants. Yeah, this is the destination.
This is the destination.
So there are lots of issues to address.
Now, Ken, can you do a bit of a projection for 2026?
Okay.
Well, within individual
done
agencies,
some already,
and then you summarize it over there.
Okay, for we've not discussed NIMASA. I'd like to discuss NIMASA.
Yeah, please, before
as we go about it.
NIMASA.
You know, we talked about this category C issue with be very beautiful.
IMO.
Yeah, we talk about IMO whitelist is also something I believe the ministry should be keen on. If you can achieve that, at least employment, you know, our seafarers can work on board a ship that can go anywhere. So they now have unlimited kind of certificate. That would be beautiful. Then for NIMASA, this issue of ship owners not being able to access this CVFF and not being able to buy vessels remains a very big. We thought in 2025 it would have been solved. You know, we've not seen that engagement. Stakeholders, they told us that everything has been agreed, but we have not seen beneficiaries of that process. Until we see people access that funds to buy ships, these ships will help train our seafarers. These ships will carry goods, will help reduce the forex that is lost in engaging foreign shipping companies. It will keep strengthen our economy. This will also provide jobs. You know, the benefits is just massive. And we have opportunities. We have the Dangote refinery that is up and working. We have Lekki Port that's improving, at least that's done 50%. We expect more. So if we have more ships, there is business. There's business. We have AFTA, which encourages trade within the region. Yeah. So there is business there on several sides. So I expect to see that we'll make progress on that end. But what we can do from the NIMASA's point of view and from the ministry is to ensure that that money is available. So it might not even be able to buy to ministry, but you can reduce the fiscal burden.
I'm not holding brief for NIMASA, but what they are saying is this, that the equity funding from the private partners are not coming in, and there's some other documentations. What do you think about that? Is that really a genuine excuse? Or?
I don't think so, because these ship owners have been so excited for this over the years. I don't believe at this point they will not be able to provide their own. I think 15% equity. Theirs is 15%. 35% comes from the PLIs, the banks. Their own is just. I don't see. And I know, for instance, I can call NISA, Nigerian Ship Owners Association. They floated a company, and they came together to float a company, which they want to also use to access the CVFF. So if all of them are coming together, I don't see it being difficult for them to raise 15%. I may not have all the answers, but I don't think if that's what they throw at us as the challenge, I don't think it is, in all sincerity.
So NIMASA needs to do some explanation.
They need to do some explanation, because these people have been waiting for this fund over the years. They were excited around this time last year, when the minister gave his word that in 2025 to be disbursed.
Well, about that, every minister that has come along has been giving his or her word that to be disbursed.
We would like to gloss over things in this country, and that's why I keep saying this country is not moving forward. Why would anybody be sitting down on a fund meant to add value, meant to create employment, and meant to drive the economy? Why would anybody be? Because if you're saying bank, the money you're asking these partners to bring, they're not going to carry the cash to your office. They're going to go through
their banks. Yes.
So why is it that the banks themselves are not even helping these people who want to buy ships to raise this 15%?
That's a big one. But I think when you look at the structure, Nigerian banks they are wired to make their profits immediately. The banking system in Nigeria is anchored for borrow now, pay tomorrow, almost like the
no long-term investment.
Yes, we don't have that. And that gives opportunity. I was discussing with somebody yesterday, just a business meeting, and he was explaining how Indians can even borrow money from their own banks, export something to Nigeria, and then import again another value. Just no, they don't invest, they are not doing any business, just to import something that they perceive is needed in Nigeria. And they can now bring the one that they need back, and they make money from it, and they can do the turnover and pay their loan because they can get it in single digits. But we can't get that in Nigeria. So ship owners, with this whole structure is still wired around between 7 to 9%. It's not even, and somewhere out there you can get 2 to 3%. So even if you get
outside the country,
yeah, you can get 3%, you can get lower in the shipping. China, I believe you can get as low as 2% or lower than that for long-term shipping investment. So you are getting a ship of Nigeria's own between that 7 to close to 10%, and you are going to compete with the same cargo in the same market, someone who has got 2%. The person can cut costs in some other areas that you can't cut. So it's something that we have to prioritize. Then for the business side of it and the national single window, I'm very excited that if we can get that work. Although we have not been told how that Biodogu would really become synergized into the national single window. Because we saw national single window, this recent drive to make it work was coming up at the same time customs was also introducing Biodogu. So we know this is a very beautiful Biodogu platform. This is national single window platform, but we need it to marry. We've been told it will work, but this technology stuff, until we see it work, there might still some concerns.
They have to test run it before.
Yes,
I think they said they'll start test running this month, or from February, because they're looking at March. But I don't think March will be feasible. Yes, because they've not held proper stakeholders engagement, which they need to do. You can't do these things without informing the stakeholders.
They've actually engaged though.
No,
in
not
Port Harcourt, in Lagos.
Is it a one-off thing?
No, it's continuous. But I think until the test run is the more, if you can say it's beautiful, but let us see how it works. Like for Biodogu.
When I talk about the stakeholders engagement, it happened with Biodogu, and that was why Biodogu for 2 months, 3 months had glitches, because the agents didn't even know what to do. And this is where education becomes very important, and this is where sensitization is necessary. And that's why I'm saying that I don't understand why agents, freight forwarders, are not keen into their institution. Because that institution is meant to prepare them. But I don't know why they're not keen into it. And some people will tell me, they say, clearing agent now for a job.
It's better now. That era is dying.
Done. It's gone. It's gone.
So then, while it is going, the younger generation of Nigerians are not getting involved. That's another problem.
The appalling aspect of it, the heartbreaking aspect of it all. The problem is that the younger generation are seeing the problem of Nigeria as being sort of overwhelming, and they are not willing to invest their time.
It's lucrative to invest in
their time, and they prefer. Well, we shall get there one day. We need to work hard in so many areas. Please do a projection of the individual agencies. Then generally the sector.
So we've looked at NIMASA. We said they could try and improve that issue of CVFF partnering with the ministry to ensure that it goes out, that money goes out. Then also NIMASA is also somewhat responsible for this IMO whitelist thing. They are the Nigeria's lead agency in the IMO, so they should be able to drag IMO to get Nigeria on that whitelist so that we can have people trained and benefit from that system. On the account of piracy and calm waters, we have to commend NIMASA and Nigeria. For Shippers Council, while we push to get that, I believe that the new Emperor bill had gotten back to the presidency. The other issues that wherever they were, they've been addressed. This was given by the ES of Nigerian Shippers Council, I think last week of November, while he was speaking in an event at LASU. He had told us that all the issues they had have been removed again and taken back to the presidency. It has gone through the National Assembly, lower and upper.
So they're waiting for the consent.
So I believe that will also provide some level of structure to economic activities in the sector. For NIWA, we can't say it enough. They need to engage more. Probably we need to appeal to the government to provide more monies, because people, sometimes we talk about the fact that people are not aware. Even those that are aware, there are some coastal states, like in Niger, where that water is the only means between some locations and some other locations, and people have to do business, people have to ply their trade, people have to travel, they have to move in hundreds on a boat. So we have to find a way to solve, because that is not, we have to solve that issue. So besides speaking English, and rolling out policy, if the demand for shipping coastal movements there is more than the available and the kind of boats they have, the accidents will continue. So we have to find a way of addressing it, dragging investors, subsidizing whatever should be subsidized to ensure people invest in boats, quality boats in that area should be done. For customs, it's a beautiful year. Customs have made progress over the years, year on year on year. I believe the biggest challenge is how do we do customs business, clearing everything without opening container? Can we see things done efficient? If you do that, you'll be surprised that Nigerian ports might be at par, even better than the ports that are looking at they are better than us currently.
Like the one in China?
No.
What about the area of training?
Training, yes. CRFFN. As we round up, I believe the Council for Regulation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria should prioritize training. Training should not just be the ones they do by themselves. They could also engage other agencies to partner with them. They could partner with the bigger maritime agencies like NEMASA, like MPA, in engaging freight forwarders, because the activity of shipping, it's unique. It concerns everybody. So the excesses of freight forwarders will also escalate to delays on the port access roads. There has a way of influencing. So if you have freight forwarders that know what they should do and do things rightly, we'll have a more efficient port system that will now benefit to the grading of Nigerian ports and improve the rating of Nigerian Ports Authority, and also improve the cost of doing business, and also improve the rating of Nigerian Shippers Council. It also improves safety of the port environment and of the waterways, and also improve NIWA and NEMASA. So training is very key. Training across board for freight forwarders, training for other players in the system. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Ken.
Thank you for having me.
You've done so well. I mean, if
a young man with so much talent and so much...
You keep talking and talking and talking.
That is it.
Our time is up. It's been the Maritime and Border Show. And, I want to say a very big thank you to our guest, Ken. I want to also say thank you to those who have called in and those who sent in the messages, even though we couldn't read them. And want to say next week Sunday we're here. Dilly, you wanted to?
I just want to say, that this program is open for sponsorship. Please sponsor this program. You can call me, or call any of the lines, or call Prince Francis Chilaka here. Call me on 0802-7590-195. Dilly Utomi.
081-2111-8789. It's been Prince Chilaka and it's been
Dilly Utomi on the Maritime and Border Show.
VOP 90.3 has been the dial. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Have yourself a lovely day.